How's it going, guys? Shane here again from the GnG Elite DBS team. And yesterday we took a look at the top 16 decks from Atlanta. Today we're going to take a look at the top 16 decks from Las Vegas. They were the same weekend, but the formats were pretty different. The red deck of choice for Atlanta being Vegeta Baby was definitely not the case here in Vegas. And there could be a lot of reasons to explain that. Typically different regions of not only a country or just in general the world tend to have different metas even during the same format. And there's a lot of factors that can be attributed to that between the players and other things. Different cards being harder to obtain in different areas, etc. We saw a good example of this towards the end of last year when the Latin American Nationals was a vastly different format than the North American Nationals. And there's not a whole lot you can you can't say like one area is just better than the other. You know, that's such a egotistical statement that doesn't really hold. There's no way to really prove that, especially when we don't have like a Worlds type tournament, and that's just not a good argument as to why things are different. The best thing we can do is just take a look into it and maybe try and come up with maybe they had different strategies and that's why things were different. So anyway, let's take a look at it, Vegas, real quick. So we've got 4 Harudegarn decks, which is pretty surprising now that Storm's gone. Most of these were probably red-blue. Not too many people seem to be on that blue-black Demigod version of Harudegarn, besides the PPG guys who were all in Atlanta. For the Broly decks, that's to be expected. He's the big bad coming into that weekend. 3 Pan decks, kind of surprising. She doesn't quite seem to be the red leader of choice, but before Vegeta Baby she was, so not too surprising to see her still doing well here. 2 Shenron decks, again not too surprising. Gogeta Shenron's still very good, and there's multitudes of other Shenron decks that are viable, whether that be like Kid Buu, Victory Strike, Hand Control. There's all kinds of different decks with Shenron that are viable. It's just such a versatile leader. 1 Janemba, just like Atlanta, not a whole lot of Janemba players. 1 Explosive Power Vegeta, which is pretty weird. We haven't seen him in a while. I'm kind of curious to see what that deck was doing. And 1 Yamcha, which is kind of surprising, but with the decline in Janemba that weekend at both events, Yamcha's not a bad leader. His big drawback is that he's a burst leader, and that his main card for the deck, the 3-drop Yamcha at 100%, makes you burst 5 as well. And that's just digging yourself to an early grave against Janemba. So, with the decline of Janemba, I'm not too surprised to see that deck have some mild success. Let's take a look at card dominance. Senzu Bean's number 1. Not too surprising. Senzu Bean's normally really high on any card dominance leaderboard. It's just such a good card, and blue is usually the best secondary color if it's not your primary color. It's vastly different, though, considering Atlanta number 1 was Cronoa at 75%, and Cronoa is still on this list, but it's way down here at 26%. So there was significantly less Cronoa in Vegas than there was in Atlanta. And it just shows that the Atlanta players either respected Shugesh more or were more afraid of it. Like, typically you don't need Cronoa unless your win condition loses to Explosive Kid Goku from Shugesh. Though, I mean, they could just be playing Striving and they can Shugesh Striving it, so there is an argument that you should be playing Cronoa regardless. So, Intensifying Power Trunks on, the red card, staple. Unbreakable is a staple in a lot of decks. Chain Attack, Hit, Ginyu, Zeno. This is signifying a lot of red decks. If these cards are at the top of the dominance chart, that's a lot of red decks. Objection, not too surprised to see that there. A lot of blue heavy decks are playing Objection just to get ahead. Typically, you don't care if your opponent wastes a turn on a Dende. The only time Dende can be game-breaking, typically, is in Child's Wish decks where they're just looping it constantly. That can be really frustrating. Dimension Magic, again, not surprising when we saw 4 Harudegarn. And an Explosive Spirit Vegeta, or Explosive Power Vegeta. Yamcha, Pan, After Image, Burst Attack, again, signifies a lot of red decks. And Hoi, again, not too surprising when we saw all those Harudegarn. So, let's see. I don't know the exact order of where all these placed besides Blue-Red Harudegarn piloted by David Fujimura, getting first. I know Kevin Castillo was first seed going into day 2, but I want to say he lost in top 16, if not top 8. Let's just start down here, though. Let's take a look at the Yamcha deck first. So, it does just kind of look like a basic red deck. He is playing Baba because he's an Earthling leader, and Baba's really good. He is playing Sparking Super Combo, which makes sense as a burst leader. Yamcha 100%. Card's really good. He is playing Topo, which can be kind of surprising. Typically 2 cost negates that aren't Mafuba, and sometimes even Mafuba are just too expensive in this format. He is playing a Miraculous Comeback Ultimate Gohan, which is pretty spicy. I like that. And of course the Frieza Secret Rare, just because it's a generic red Secret Rare, and there's not a huge reason not to play it, so typically they're playing it if they have it. After Image and M2's sideboard looks pretty standard. Terra Assault Frost just to deal with pesky things that are sticking on the board. After that, we've got a Xenopan deck. Looks to be pretty standard. Yeah, nothing too spicy here. We are seeing Time Patrol Trunks make a comeback in the format, and that's pretty nice. Kind of a throwback to the latter half of Set 2 format. Fushroud and Mystery in the sideboard. The card's really good against Janemba. They can't negate, they can't combo efficiently. It's just really good against Janemba. Helps drain them of a lot of resources. Here's David's first place deck. Blue-Red Hirudegarn. He is playing 4/4 Minocean Wanderer just to maximize as much advantage as he can get in those early turns and off of his Hoys. He is playing the one Unyielding. 2 Cronoa, a Mass Sand Mysterious Warrior. That's a good removal for him. He's probably playing it because he needed some kind of removal. Other than that, it looks pretty standard. He is playing M2. Usually I don't like M2 because, like, you don't want to play too many of it because you don't want it to be clunky. But when you don't play that many of it, it's hard to see it turn 1 when you'd ideally want to. But, I mean, the card's not bad by any means. It's definitely just one of those, like, preference cards. Sideboard looks pretty normal. Killy Zone to make sure his Chain Attack Zeno goes off or his hits go off. Another Cronoa, another Mass Sand, another Scientist Fu. Sneak Attack Vegeta is in the sideboard. That's probably just there for those really grindy matchups to help him outgrind his opponent. Let's see. Dimension Hirudegarn. Basically just a mono blue Hirudegarn deck. Is playing Dimension Support Trunks with 6 vanillas just to apply extra pressure. We saw this strategy by Jonathan Rodriguez at one of the PPG Orlando events towards the end of last year. 3 Vegito, 1 of 5-drop Gogeta. Sorry for all the dogs barking, guys. My neighborhood's full of dogs, and apparently they all want to bark right now. Anyway, sideboard looks pretty standard. Yeah, nothing too spicy here. I mean, Dimensional Banisher Fu, but as we all know, removal is very important in this format, so I'm not too surprised to see that. It does look like he was respecting the objection decks more so than the Shugesh decks, which probably not a terrible idea. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Dende, though. She just never really seems to do enough. I only played her in Gogeta Shenron in case you were on the draw. It allowed you to Gogeta before they Gogeta you. So, I don't know. Let's see, what do we got next? Another Blue-Red Hirudegarn from Marcus Cantarsi, Mr. Shenron's Lair. Looks to be pretty standard. We've ever seen Bodyguard Legic again. 1 of Unyielding. Dimensional Banisher Fu, Fu Shrouded in Mystery. Looks like he was pretty prepared for needing removal, playing against Janemba, things of that nature. He's also playing Objection. I'm not too surprised to see that. Being able to hit on turn 3 is really strong, especially against these combo decks. Another Xenopan. Looks to be pretty standard. Again, Topo. Dimensional Banisher Fu and Time Patrol. Power Overseeing Time in the sideboard, and again, Fu Shrouded in Mystery. Vegito Shenron. So this deck's really cool. It's really fun, and I'm glad to see it having some success. Amir Bushi's definitely not a bad player by any means. Most people should know his name by now that keep up with the competitive circuit of the game. Essentially, the goal usually is to turn 3, be able to Union into Lightning Speed Vegito, Mill 10, go into Repeated Force, give it triple attack, and end the game. Repeated Force is a triple striker. When this card attacks, the card gains plus 5,000 power for each Sun, Goku, and Vegeta in your drop area for the duration of the turn. So every attack, he just gets bigger and bigger. With the ultimate, he'll be base 35k, and then let's just say bare minimum, you have 2 guys in there. Alright, so he'll go up to 45 on the first attack, 55 second, 75 on the next one. No, 45, 55, and 65. But because you're milling 10 and you're playing so many Gokus and Vegetas, there's a good chance you're going to have several in there. This dude gets real big real quick. Lightning Speed does Union for only 3. So if you can do double Child's Wish, turn 2, like if you awaken on turn 2, then you're all set. Probably more often than not, it doesn't go off till like turn 4 would be my guess. Turn 4 is probably much more consistent for this deck to pull off. It does also tend to give it time to access Bad Ring Laser, which it probably wants to do. So turn 4 seems a bit more likely. I've never actually played with the deck. Marcus played around with it a little bit, so that's where my little bit of knowledge on it comes from. Frieza Broly, these were also running around Atlanta. It's just Broly Leader playing the Frieza package from Clash of Fates. Is playing high on the Chrono account, which is not surprising. Its finisher does not have barrier, so it doesn't want to get Shugesh Kid Goku'd. Time Patrol again. Burst Energy Bardock in the main board is pretty neat. The website will let me see it. Alright, so when you play this card using Overwhelm, it gains plus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. It can attack battle cards in active mode. So worst case, it's a 1-cost 30k beater. Best case scenario, it's going to run over things like Striving Goku, so you can apply more pressure with your swap chain and things of that nature. Anything else spicy here? Dende, Toki Toki, more Bardock, Spanish Refuse on the side. Nothing too surprising here. Toki Toki is just like extra copies of Cronoa and Dende. Like if he plays against Shugesh deck, he's probably going to keep all 3 Cronoa and both Toki Toki. If he plays against an objection deck, he's probably siding out the Cronoas, bringing in the Dendes, the Toki Tokis. Just make sure you see them turn 1 to shut down your opponent's deck. Let's see here. Another Xenopan. Anything spicy here? Zarbon Hidden Potential. That's not too surprising to see. I've been a big fan of this card for a while. When this card is KO, draw a card and choose one of your opponent's battle cards against minus 15,000 power for the turn. So if he's going to keep applying pressure if they don't answer him, and if they answer him, he also kind of answers them. So this card can be a pretty good plus-minus gain in my opinion. Legic again. Let's see here. Time Patrol. Time Patrol real popular at this event. Planet M2 also real popular at this event. Again, Fu Shrouded in Mystery. Like I said, this card's really good against Shinimba. People seem to have figured that out. Another blue-red Hirudegarn deck. I have got to shut off those notifications, guys. They keep going off. Let me do that real quick. Alright. Let's see. Looks to be pretty standard. Some Champas. I would always rather play Champa just because I don't want to be like fatigued and forget to announce Double Strike with the East Kai or Supreme Kai, whatever it is. And, you know, I don't want to say get rule sharked, but, you know, just forget to announce Double Strike and get stuck with a single striker. So I'm just always a fan of eliminating bad situations from happening and playing Champa. So I like that he's playing Champa. Peel off in the main board. Unyielding. Fu Shot and Mystery, just straight up 2 of in the main board. Cronoa, these all make sense. Nothing in his deck has barrier, so he has to respect the Shugesh. Kid Goku play. 4 Objection, again, turn 3 hits, really good. Nothing too spicy in the main board, or the sideboard. Phantom Flame Cannons. Seems pretty standard. Aggro Lineage Broly, so this is going to be the Broly Storm deck. Frieza Binding His Time is going to help them deal with anything pesky in play. Let's see. hit the Goku, you can hit Striving, Crisis Crusher, or whatever. Anything you need to tap down that costs 2 or less, just tap it down with Frieza. Nothing else seems... Oh my god, guys, quit blowing up my phone, please. I'm trying to mute all these chats here. Let's see. He's only playing 1 Shugesh, makes sense. If he has it and they don't have Cronoa, cool, it's free value. If not, he's just relying on his draw super combo. Not a bad strategy. One of striving to be the best just to deal with barrier guys. He's probably got more on the sideboard. I haven't looked over there yet. Actually, no more on the sideboard, just 1. Power Charge Bardock, it's a good swap target to go into from Dependable Dynasty. It's a 3-drop 15k when you attack, draw a card, or give a double strike, similar to the old BCC Gohan. We pretty much have one for every color now except green, I think. So, Ultimate Potential SS2 Son Gohan is just a lineage version, essentially, of the Explosive Spirit. 4 Wheel of Iron is going to be its main bomb. Dark Temptation Toe is pretty interesting, though. She's just the one that comes into play and your opponent discards a card. I mean, it kind of makes sense. You're just trying to outgrind your opponent, and that costs them a card, so makes sense. 3 Mira. Mira is definitely what you're trying to end the game with here. It's a Storm deck. You just, if they go to 2, you do everything you can to put them to 2, and then Mira, Champa, Bad Ring, any other yellow card, you win the game. And with Broly, honestly, you can just put them to 3. Like, Broly's insane. Bad Rings, only 2 Bloodlust. But he does have 2 more bullets in the sideboard, so that's fine. Another Frieza in the sideboard. Time Magics are in there. Extra SS2 Gohans. He does have Discover Dynasty Son Gohans in here. I'm not quite sure what these would be for, but that's kind of interesting. Chronoas and Dimensional Banisher Foos just for that extra removal. I would assume he brings these Banisher Foos in against Baby Vegeta. Baby Vegeta probably has a relatively easy time going underneath this deck, so I'd assume that's when these would come in. Here's the 1-of Janemba deck. Looks to be pretty standard. 2 Striving in the main. That's a little bit different than Daehan's build. Deadly Defenders in the main. Cronoa and Crisis Crusher are his silver bullets of choice. In the sideboard, we have Ready Stances. Again, like I was saying before, these events happen. These are probably going to be the blockers of choice. He does have Yajirobis as well, but Barrier's just really good right now. 3rd Striving, Dende, Kami, and Figure of Majesty all on the sideboard, so he's pretty much got all his bases covered with these black cards. Maybe it would have been better just to go a Toki Toki route in the sideboard with 4 different silver bullets, but, well, no, Toki Toki can't get Crisis Crusher, but with Cronoa, Dende, and Kami, maybe trying to fit the Toki Toki engine would have been a little bit better, but it's hard to say. I mean, it worked out for him, so it's not really too fair to critique it too much. Another Frieza Broly. Again, looks to be pretty standard. Time Patrol, Scientist Fu for Cronoa. Definitely didn't want to get Shugeshed. Don't blame him. This deck just straight loses to Shugesh Kid Goku, so I don't blame him. Sideboard looks pretty standard for what we've seen so far. Here's the Explosive Vegeta deck. So what were they doing here? Gale Strike Vegeta is just a 2-drop 15k barrier. Other than that, looks to be pretty standard. Just Chain Zeno deck. Playing Lights Guide. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not quite sure the point of playing this leader over other leaders, but the deck as a whole makes sense. I don't think this leader really gave any significant advantage to be played than other blue leaders, but I mean, it worked out for him, so good on him. It is a 15k on the front, I guess, and that's pretty relevant. Maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure. The ability to, like, return an energy and play one is, like, I don't know. It worked out for him, though, so it's kind of nice to see this leader doing well. Usually we've always seen it do well with the Boo engine, but it's kind of nice seeing it do well with something that's not Boo, it's not energy control, just he's the leader for this blue-red deck, and it worked, and that's kind of cool to see. U7 Broly, so here's going to be the combo deck. So he's also playing Hope of Universe 7 in here, and at all costs. That's kind of weird. So what in the world is going on here? This does not seem to be the traditional version of the deck. So we have 4 ready to fight Son Gokus. He's going to go help get him his U7 pieces. 3 at all costs to help end the game. 3 Hope of Universe 7s. That card's pretty nuts. Of course, Secret Rare Victory Strike. 4 Master Roshi negates. 4 super combos, one of which is Shigesh. 1 Vegeta Striving. 3 Path to Greatness to go into... What is Path to Greatness going into? Is he going into Ultimate Form? Lineage with an energy cost of 8. So it must be this. No? What? Is he going into this? That does cost 8. Is he Lineage? No, he's not Lineage, so what? Maybe it's... What am I missing here? I'm missing something. Oh my god, please work DBS decks. It's so frustrating. Maybe it's just a good evolve target for the ultimate form or something. No. How about this guy? Yeah, I don't know. I'm missing something, obviously. I don't know what it is I'm missing, but I'm missing something. I don't know. I'm missing something. I don't understand why he's playing Path to Greatness. I don't know. There's got to be something here I'm missing. I'm sure someone can point it out to me in the comments. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to stay here too long trying to figure it out, but I feel super retarded for not knowing the point of the Path to Greatness in here. Because he's not going into Height of Mastery. Unless this was supposed to be? I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, I'm just going to skip this because I'm confused. And last but not least, Shenron Gogeta deck. So he was playing blue-yellow, which I'm not a fan of, but I do understand why people play it. Though his blue-yellow is a lot different than everyone else's, and that might be why it did well. Like, I could probably get behind this version of blue-yellow. So for his yellow package, he's playing a Fudging Talent Pam, which makes sense. You want to dig. Of course, 4 of the Vanilla Gokus, 2 Bad Rings, and 4 Personal Ambition. I like the Ambition. You don't really see Ambitions in here. Typically, it's usually like Nimbuses and whatnot. I like Ambition. Seems a lot better than what people normally play. Rest of it seems pretty standard. He was playing 2 Dende in the main board. Only 2 Figure Majesty. I like 3. 2 just feels like I don't see it when I need it. But, I mean, hey, he was first seed. He was, like, undefeated in day 1, so he must have been seeing them. 2 Radar just to help him dig through the deck. 3 Whis was his main board negate of choice. Definitely not bad. I liked Whis in the main board as well. Sideboard Persistent Assault Krillin. Wow, he was sideboarding the Kill Krillin package. That's pretty neat. I'm gonna be on that. That's awesome. I want to test this now. That's very innovative, and yeah, props to Kevin Castillo for thinking of that. That's pretty neat. I would have never thought to just jam that in the sideboard for this deck, but I'm also not a creative person. 2 Nimbus, 2 Wish to Purunga. That's also pretty spicy. That kind of makes sense. Against decks going wide, it just helps you survive. Since he's not playing like Striving, so that makes sense. This deck looks really sweet. I'm gonna have to try this variant and compare it to what I've been playing. But anyways, guys, that's the final deck for Vegas. It was a very different event than Atlanta. As you can see, like, the vast majority of these decks were red. Like, let's just count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to count Vegito Shenron because that's like a combo deck. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the 16 decks were red. That's pretty insane. But, I mean, it happens. We'll see what their next event's like. If their format evolves from here, or their meta evolves from here, or if it kind of stays stagnant. Same thing can be said for us. Let's see where our format here on the East, or our meta here on the East Coast goes. If it stays very similar to Atlanta, or if it evolves and mutates from what it was. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay elite.